Welcome back to the Glycogen Cycling channel and welcome to my garage. So today we have this 2001 Trek STP 200. This year they made 3 models of this. I think there was a 400, a 300, and a 200. I'm going to go over all the details of that in a different video. Today we're going to go over the bike and how I got a hold of it, and just go over all the parts, what's broken, figure out what parts we need to order so we can fix it up. Next video we're going to fix this bike up to make it ride great. And in the third video we're going to do a full comprehensive history of this bike, going over what year this was made, what model, why they decided to build this, and we're going to do some riding shots and give my general review of the bike. So I bought this bike off Facebook Marketplace for a pretty good deal, but the problem is it's pretty beat up. It doesn't have a front brake. This freaking seat clamp bolt is stripped, as I've just found out. The rear derailleur is kind of messed up. The cassette on the wheels was unattached from the wheel, which is probably why the derailleur is messed up, and a few other things which we're going to find out today. But basically the main parts of this bike which I was concerned with are, one, the frame, because you can't really fix or replace that cheaply, and the suspension, which both of those things seem to be in really good condition. So this bike is actually really light, which would make sense because it's carbon. So this bolt is like stripped. What I think the story is behind this bike is the kid who had it, I think he was starting to work on it and he didn't really know what he was doing, because like it's missing the front brakes, so obviously he like took those off for some reason. Not sure why. Maybe we'll find that out. The cassette wasn't attached. The derailleur is all messed up. So, and that seat post clamp is stripped. So I think what was happening is he was working on it and didn't really know what he was doing, which is fine, but there's going to be some quirks here that we got to work through. All right, so I got the clamp out. There's a seat post. Crusty. All right, so I got the seat post out of there and just resting it up here for now. I don't really want to clamp it on the carbon. It should be fine if I don't do it too tight, but what I'm going to do is look for another bolt that I can put in here right now so we can put the seat post back on and put it in our stand. I decided to just put the same bolts back in. It wasn't like too bad where I couldn't get it out. May regret that later, but we will see. All right, so now that we have this in the stand, first thing I want to do is measure the chain. Measure the chain, probably going to change it out anyways, and then we're going to try to fix this rear derailleur. I'm also going to do all new cables and housing on this because it's probably never been done. And I found these bars, actually, when going through my bin looking for a bolt, and I don't know, what do you guys think? Should I put those on there? That may look cool. I also like a wider bar, so I may throw those on there. We'll do that in the next video though. Today we're just trying to figure out what everything is wrong here, what we need. So what we do know we need for sure, brakes, because we don't have a front. And I could do disc in the front, but then I gotta get new wheels, so we're just gonna do rim. That's fine. We got the wheels there. We need new tires. We're gonna take this crank off, make sure the bottom bracket's good. And let's start with the derailleur. All right, so here's the chain tool. We have a 0.75 side and a 0.5. See if I can do this with one hand, but basically I tried to, it's super worn. So I was expecting that. We gotta replace this chain anyways, so let's take this chain off and then we can get to the derailleur easily. So the kid that I bought this from said this derailleur was messed up, but it could have just been the cassette, because to me this kind of seems okay. I may take it off and clean up this whole area, but this seems like it works to me. The only thing I was concerned with was how high it was sitting. But another thing we have to get is jockey wheels. See these? This is like all, it's like flat almost. So we gotta get new jockey wheels for the derailleur. Hanger looks straight for the most part. What's nice about the mountain bike version of this, so I have a 2003 US Postal 5200 bike, and I'll do another video on that. But basically on that bike the hanger is just like built into this piece. You didn't have a removable hanger here, so if you bent your hanger or whatever, you're stuck to bending it back versus replacing it like this has. So that's pretty nice that they thought about that. For a mountain bike, like, that's necessary because you're more likely to crash and bend your hanger. So I took off the hanger just to check it. There's not really a way to see if it's straight without it on the bike, but it seems pretty good, but it's real dirty. And similar to the frame, it's real nasty dirty. All this Black Forest cheese. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up really quick. I just cleaned up the frame, so that cleaned up pretty nicely, but I'll clean up this hanger, get all this mud and Black Forest cheese off there, and it should be good to put the hanger back on. So there's the hanger. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I mean, it's shining like new. So remember how dirty this thing was before? Spent like 10-15 minutes cleaning this up, and it really turned out good. Mainly why you want to kind of keep the stuff clean is because this could be a point of squeaking or other, unwanted noises just from dirt rubbing together, and it's really hard to pinpoint exactly where that's coming from sometimes. So it's good to keep the components and parts clean, especially if it's like metal on metal that's rubbing. So yeah, let's throw this back on the bike. So here is the dropout. This was equally as dirty. It's kind of a little roughed up, but here's the other side. This hole was literally caked with Black Forest cheese, and I thought it was just solid, but it's not. There's actually a hole that goes there. So we're gonna get some grease that up, put that bolt back in, and work on the derailleur. Alright, so here's the derailleur. It's a little, so I guess this was originally black, but from like chains striking it and rocks and things, it wore off some of the paint. So kind of a cool patina look on the inside of this derailleur. And then we have the derailleur here. So I probably could have done a better job, but it's good enough. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. These are going to get dirty again real quick. This bottom bracket actually feels really good. I mean, like, it actually feels like surprisingly good. So I may take these off at some point. I'm not going to do that today. It's like, it's definitely good enough to ride. I mean, it feels like new. So I don't even think that needs to be replaced. So that's that. And, you know, we have a 3x on there. Probably could go 1x or, you know, 2x, but I'm just going to leave the original crank on there. Also, the headset feels good. And I may get some new grips because I just don't like these foam ones. The shifters both work, so that's fine. We're going to do all new cables. And the last thing we're going to do today is look at first that cassette. Make sure it's not damaged the free hub body at all. And then we're going to take off these tires because these tires are beyond worn. So we're going to order some new ones. And the one thing I'm concerned with about this cassette is that chain is really worn. And I don't really know if I want to replace this. I mean, it looks pretty good. So I think what I'm going to do is just, as long as I can get all the pieces back on successfully, I'm just going to leave it and see how it is when I buy a new chain. But that's that. The other thing I know right off the bat is I need a new skewer. I think I have one laying around, but this was bent. So we got to take that off. I think what happened here is they just didn't tighten the lock ring down. Oh, I forgot about this freaking... So this end is like, you can't get it off unless you use pliers. First off, let me just see if I can hold this end. Yes, yes. All right, we got that off. Okay, that's going right in the garbage, just a piece of crap. Now let's see if we can get this cassette. First I'm just going to make sure I can get this on, and then we're going to take the whole thing off and clean it. Let me get the tool. Oh. Again, usually you'd use a wrench, but I'm just want to make sure this is, you know, somewhat rideable, which I think it is. Yeah, I mean, it looks good to me. What do you think? And these hubs, they feel like brand new. Let's take the cassette off and check the free hub body. I think it's good. Just have to clean it up. So the one thing I wasn't able to check on this bike was actually spin this wheel to see if it's true or not. So this is really the moment of truth. We have this all hooked up here. Nice, not terrible actually. I mean, a little bit to fix, but we don't need a whole new wheel, which is good because these wheels are pretty cool. I like them. Rolf Dolomite. So yeah, pretty cool. I don't think these are the original tires. Probably not. But yeah, we're getting some new ones anyways because these are like bold. So I think we've gone through everything we need to make sure this bike is rideable. So one thing we definitely have to get are jockey wheels, tires, brakes, cables and housing, and a chain. We have to get a chain too. So those are the 5 things we have to get. And then this bike should be in good enough shape to ride. So next video, stay tuned. We're gonna be putting all this together and taking it for a quick test ride. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.